Ladies and gentlemen, good morning all. I'm very honored to be here with you today for this Digital Day #2, and I'm grateful to Cadence Europe for inviting me. But more than an honor, it's a pleasure, and I have to confess that it's a big pleasure for me. I was there last year for Digital Day #1, and I found it fascinating, and very pleased to be with you and to share today what are my views or feelings on the topic. I used to start my conferences saying that I'm not an expert on digitalization. So you will wonder what he's doing there if he's not. I'm just an accountant, no more than an accountant, but interested in what is happening in our profession and wondering what will be the future, what will be the impact of technology on our profession. That's why maybe I'm here, and I would like to share that with you. So it's fascinating, it's amazing, it's more than that. It's the change of the landscape, of the framework is very deep. It's a new world, it's a new society, it's a new era, a digital era. And the accountants, of course, are part of this change. We are concerned, directly concerned, but all around us is concerned. So in order to make a link with the Digital Day #1, I start my presentation with this sentence of Richard and Daniel Susskind. They were here last year. And I like very much this, and I found in their book, if you probably know their book, The Future of the Professions, saying we move from a print-based industrial society into a technology-based internet society. If you think 2 minutes on that, you understand everything. The base of society is changing. That's what's the meaning. The base of the change of the economy, of the business is changing. And our profession has been thought, has been drafted by public authorities to be part of this print-based industrial society. All what we are doing is print-based thought. And even if you send, let's say, a PDF file to your client, this is not a digital thinking. It's a dematerialization of the printing, but the basis always the same. So today we have to face new concept, new think of organizing your business and of facing the situation and the relation with your your stakeholders. So starting from that, we have now to understand that technology is all around us, but more than before. Accountants have always been able to adapt themselves to technology and to what happened during these 20, 30, 40, 50 years, last years. But today, it's something different. It's more than only technology. So another one, and I will stop with that, another sentence I like very much, coming from the chairman of the World Economic Forum. In this new world, it's not the big fish which eats the small, it's a fast fish which eats the slow fish. That means that everything today is, let's say, about speed, about running, about going fast, and being able to go in that way and to be part of this running forward. And that is the case for all the business, all the economy. And of course, it's always also the case for us as accountants. So we are concerned by that philosophy, I would say. So how this technology is impacting our profession, our activity, and what can be the perspective in the short term, on the short-term basis for our profession. For those who are wondering if we are really concerned by the topic. I'm just using that slide coming from the World Economic Forum, showing that accounting and auditing is the most concerned industry comparing to other ones. It's not said by us, it's said by the other ones who know the matter, who know what is accounting. Accounting and auditing will be disrupted. And this is a matter of fact. We have to take that, to understand it, and to start our thinking from that basis. So which technology will impact our activities? I would say all of them. If we're speaking of artificial intelligence, of blockchain, if you're speaking of machine learning, deep learning, data science, robots, etc., our matter, accounting, is perfectly adapted to these changes and to this technology. So if you understand that, you can understand that our way of processing our activities will be different. That does not mean that we will disappear, that accountants will disappear. That means that we have to work in a different way with maybe other tools and maybe have another and a different thinking. What will be more difficult, but I will come to that later. So I see, from my perspective, four key factors for a change. The first one is coming from legislation. Legislation is changing around and forces us to adapt, to be adapted to that. The ones who are very much interested in the change and in the digitalization is the administration, the tax administration. Is there any one single country in Europe today where the VAT return may be presented with paper, using paper? It's not the case anymore. Not only that, but for the ones, some of you in your country have already the duty to present with the VAT return the file, including all the details of the movement of the entries. And more than that, for the ones who know the electronic invoicing, today, and I have some cases in some countries in mind, today when the provider is sending an invoice to this client, at the same time, the copy of the invoice is going to the tax administration. So do you think that we will need to present VAT report, VAT declaration anymore? This world is changing, and that is an example of something going very fast, and not only in Europe, but all over the world, and with changing our activities. So legislation around us with a deep interest coming from the public authorities in having a new kind of relationship with, I would say, people paying taxes, private, but businesses as well. What about the platform? The platform around us are challenging the profession. Today, the platform is the right way to organize a business and to build a business. And our activity in their deep history, I would say, are challenged because the model is different. The model coming from outside. So we have to be adapted to that because the new businessmen, the young guys are coming with a new concept, and it's our task to be adapted to their environment, to their framework. Otherwise, you will not be able to have a relation with them and to work with them. Our clients are changing. Our clients are not the same. When you have a startup today, if you don't have the right tools for building the relationship with him, he will go to another one. So this is forcing us to move, and this is the case for the market. So technology, it's not to say, well, take care, blockchain is arriving. It's already in place in our stakeholders around us, and that is forcing the accounting profession for moving forward. So My perspective is that today the accountants have to move a bit from accounting to information system. The only information system we knew from the past was accounting. But today, accounting is a part of the information system, only a part. The information system of a business is much larger than only accounting. And we have to be adapted to that. And to have a look and an overview and a control on what is happening. The system of record, the system of automation, the system of engagement. We are concerned, and if we are not, we're going to lose much from our role and our responsibility for the business. So, these are my words to my partners, to my colleagues. Let's be centric on the information system of the business. That is our future. And of course, accounting is included in that, but it's much more than only accounting. And another one, saying that our core business for accountants, coming from the cloud computing, because cloud computing has changed a lot. What about the storage? Where is it stored? Where the data is stored? What about securization? And I will come back to that. What about authentication? I mean that everything around the concept of data is a matter of interest for accountants. It was a case before. Today, it's another role, maybe with other tools, maybe with other skills, and I will come back later on the human resources in our practices. But we need to have maybe a broader mind to face this responsibility of controlling the information system of the business. So let's say in just 2 words that we have to change the model. Like our clients are changing theirs, we have to change our model as an accounting practice. First point about the skills. We have skills, and these skills are expected by everybody around us, of course by our clients. The clients need to have a broad range of skills in the practice, and not only accountants. Today, the right size of the practice is bigger and bigger, including other activities than only accounting and auditing. And the skills, the right skills we need are different. Could you imagine some years ago, let's say 3, 4, 5 years ago, that we would employ engineers, information engineers, technologists, data scientists? That is the case today. These profiles are the best search on the market for accountants today. And they are new skills, and that will help us in being able to give the right service for our clients. Regulation authorities, yes, we need to have these skills, and this is expected as well by public authorities in relation with the regulation, in line with the regulation, sorry. The second point is about the value of our service, the value of our engagement with our clients. Is there any value for the bookkeeping today? Even for an SMP, for an SME, for a micro company, it's not the case anymore. Our clients are not ready to pay for that, and we have to bring more value to our service. And that will come from the information system. What I said before, let's be centric on information system, because there will be the value. And we have to help our clients in transforming their own business, in building a useful tool for managing their business, like can be the case with a dashboard, with an intelligence dashboard. If you have good databases, including accounting, of course, but not only accounting, including other data, then you put some BI inside, some business intelligence. And at the end of the day, you have an intelligent dashboard which may help the business in being very reactive, very agile for for bringing value. This will be value for your client, but it will be value for your practice as well. So we have to look for more value in our service. The third point is about security. What about security? Who is able in our economy to bring security if it's not the accountant? Our profession has been sought for bringing security. That comes from the public authorities, but not only them. There is a lot of trust on accountants for bringing this security. And security today is a matter of interest in this digitalized world. There is a wondering, there is even a a bit scared about security. We know that there is some fails in the digital world. So it's a role for accountants. Well, that's what I say. We have to convince public people around us. But speaking of criminality, cyber criminality, who is able to bring this security to the business if it's not the accountants? Is it necessary today to invent a new profession able to bring this security, or wouldn't it be better to use the framework of the accountancy profession, moving a bit on the target, but using the ethics code and the role and our regulation, quality control, and so on and so on. This is for helping the business. And the last point is about trust. About trust, because we have trust. We have trust from our clients. We have trust from the public authorities. We have the trust of our we can rely on this trust. This trust is coming from ethics. I insist very much on that, saying to my colleagues, to accountants, because some people inside the profession think that ethics is a burden for our activity, and this is, well, compliance with rules we have invented. But at the end of the day, if you take off the ethics rules, you will be on the market as a single consultant. And the difference between a consultant and an accountant is the ethics. In the ethics, you can find the roots for trust and for the security. And this is why our clients need it. It's not because you're the best technical accountant in the world or the best tax advisor. This is important, of course, but you can find on the market other people as competent as you, with the same skills. But if they are not member of a regulated body, a regulated organization without ethics rules, then is the difference between them and us. And we have to put that forward, saying that thanks to our ethics rules, we are able to bring security. That is our role, and we can count on that, and our clients need that. So I insist very much on the role of ethics for our future. You probably know this wonderful book named Homo Deus, published last year by Mr. Arraou. And I like very much the last sentence of this book. At the very end of the book, it's a big book like that, the last line, the last sentence is a question. And this question is this one. Between intelligence and conscience, which one is the most valuable? So after having developed during hundreds and hundreds of pages about intelligence, about saying, well, it's a wonderful world, we are going forward in a new world, etc., etc., at the end of the day came the question of the consciences. This is not new. If you remember Rabelais, it was 16th century. Science without consciences is the ruin of the soul. It's nothing new. It was a case. It has always been the case. So about conscience and consciousness, the accountants are the one to play that role in society. That's why I rely very much on our future. I believe that accountants have future, but we have to understand that we should move a bit. We should move on our skillness, on our service. We have to think in a different way to build another kind of relationship with our clients. And this is our future. And if you're doing that, you will have future. Otherwise, you will have problems. So my future, my advice for the future of accountant is that one. So be confident and keep trust on future. We have trust, but please move a bit in your practices. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Philippe, and thank you for ending on, a very positive note. You'll enjoy non-virtual chocolates, so thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see any questions for Philippe. So you can use Slido if you want, and we can have questions, but I would like to share two good news with you. One good news for you and one good news for me. We have questions. Okay, so how does accounting data science interface with financial data science? Showcase best practices already. Uncharted waters. Well, that's for sure, uncharted waters. What is the best way for an SMP SME to learn the best relevant practices to adopt, taking into account the cost and learning capacity considerations? Philippe, knowing your interest in SMEs and SMPs, what is your advice to smaller practices? We're talking jargon here. SMPs is smaller and medium-sized practices. So what is your advice to colleagues working in small and medium-sized firms on how they can learn about the best relevant best practices? Don't mention our website. They go to our website. There is the technology hub. They learn plenty of things out of there. But what is your personal advice?
Well, I understand that question because it's a matter of wondering about all the SMPs today. How to face that? Do we have to invest? How can we invest on that? Because we do not have the financial resources and we are not able to, we do not have the skills inside the practice. So what is, I would say, dramatic, to insist a bit more on that, what is dramatic is that we are fully depending on our providers, the ones who are giving us the tools for building a new relationship with our clients. And that is not easy today. So I think it's time for SMPs to think about being together. I think that the ones who keep their small size, this is something absolutely respectable, and there is room in the economy for SMPs and for small business, of course. But it's difficult today to stay alone and to be alone, and you have to find resources outside. So how to do that? Being member of an association, a member of a group, member of well, you have to go out of your practice, I would say, and to look for resources outside to bring them back to your practice. And because there is a need for investment, and these investments are important. And what I see on the market, and it's a pity, but my feeling is that our providers are not updated today. They are late. The right way to tackle the digital topic today is to employ engineers in the practices, to employ IT specialists and data scientists, and to plug these skills in the accounting team. But a small accountant cannot do that. So my advice is don't stay alone. Be together. Find the right way to share your skills, but share investment together. That's the right way to do it today.
Thank you very much, Philippe. Ladies and gentlemen, Philippe Arraou.